we want to, when we talk about a metric, it should tell the whole story. So we defined the different words we used. The metric was telling the whole story. It means taking multiple pieces of information. And in fact, the higher level you are up the chain, you might want your metrics to be built out of other metrics. So you're looking at the forest versus that tree we talked about, because that tree is a metric, right? I want to pull back and have a whole forest of trees. I want to be able to look at multiple metrics. But it should tell a complete story, a full story. And that's hard to do if you don't know the root question. But macro analytics, because I'm pulling back, I want to look at big picture analytics. I don't want to look down at each data point. I don't want to look at each customer satisfaction survey that we received. I want to be able to look at the big picture and allow people down below me to use that data at their level, and then at their level. And like Don said, at the very lowest level, at the micro level, they might be the staff member that's saying, well, I need to know how well I service that customer. I need to look at my customer satisfaction review, plus the time it took me to do it, plus how much effort I did, plus if there's any rework involved. I need to see how well I did so I can improve my own process and my own work ethic, right, and how well I did. But I don't need the CIO to see that data. CIO isn't managing me. The CIO is managing an organization. So that data needs to be at the macro analytic view. So we talked about 4 norms, and we tried to give you things to use instead. So the first one was, when you start thinking about developing a metric or metric program, if you decide that's what you need, we would argue that first you should make sure that your organization is ready for it. Metrics is a mature behavior. Not every organization, not every person, not every manager is ready to do metrics. But if we put that aside, because a lot of people decide, nope, I got to do it, the first thing we'd start with is not what data I have available. I just had a conference session, with someone, and they said, can you help me develop some metrics? And I said, sure. And so we started talking, and the first thing she did was start listing off all the data she had available, all the different tools, where the data came from, what kind of data she had. And about 5 minutes in, I said, okay, please stop, please. I don't care. What do you mean you don't care? I said, because I want to know what you need to know. She goes, oh, well, I don't know. I said, yeah, let's walk through that. And we started working. We did the 5 whys, and we got to the root question. And we found out what she really needed. And what she really needed at the moment, believe it or not, was a vision. Not a metric at all. Because she didn't even know where she wanted to point the organization yet. And she realized what she really wanted to create, instead of a metric right now, well, she needed to figure out what her vision was going to be for the organization. And I said, I can help you with that too if you like, but I'm glad. Now you're going on, you let me know when you finish with your vision and you work your way back down to maybe some high-level goals and you're ready for metrics. We didn't do any metrics yet. In fact, I'm not helping with metrics right now because she's working on her vision. A whole different direction she needed to go. Another one that Don talked about was being data-driven. And yes, it may be semantics for you, but the people that hear you say that you're going to be data-driven and that you want to make data-driven decisions, it means that you're going to drive your decisions based on that data. And data can tell different things, right? Figures lie, liars figure.
Right-handed.
Yeah. Now, we did collect data on left-handed and right-handed. It was very important. We did that at the last conference we gave in Midwest too. Different presentation, but we collected, and you guys have a higher percentage of left-handed people than they did. Okay, but I want to make data-informed decisions. You should ask for data. If you have to make a tough decision, a big decision, a decision that has a lot of risk to it, please ask for data. But while you're doing it, you have to explain why you're asking for the data. So it's best if you have a root question. If you can explain that root question to the people that you're asking for data from, they understand and they want to give you the data. And they don't care if it looks good or bad for the most part. Some will still. But if you start telling them how you're going to use that data and how you're not going to use that data, and you make that clear, you'll probably get the data you want faster, better, cleaner, more accurate. But it has to be data informed. They have to understand that you're just going to use it for information to help you make a better decision. The other one is abstract versus concrete. And this one to me is, like I said, the fun part. It may be the biggest paradigm shift for some of you. When you start talking to somebody and you say, I want to develop a metric, I don't want you trying to think of the data you need. I don't want you thinking about a line chart versus a graph of this type or a plot. No. How about a pie chart? No. Get out of that. Back up. Show me the picture. Do it in pictures. The lady that I'm working with on her vision, when she still thought she wanted a metric, her picture was a picture of the Notre Dame dome, the building, nice golden dome, and all of her workers standing around the dome, holding hands, singing Kumbaya. They were stick figures, but I understood. You have to think abstract. For the Notre Dame experience, I was able to use photographs. But you could also I could have sketched a circle and said, that's the stadium. Because it doesn't have to be a great drawing, right? But I actually want you to play Pictionary. I actually want you to draw. All right. Last thing was macro versus micro. From your viewpoint, from the leader's viewpoint, high-level view, but also with metrics. You do it with most things already. You take a high-level view, you back up, you look at things from the 30-foot view, 30,000-foot view, sorry. And you do it well. But when we get to metrics, you're like, whoa, let's go back down to data. You forget, and you just jump down into data a lot of times. So what we want you to do is keep that same macro attitude, that macro viewpoint of where you're going. Okay. All right, questions?